Hey guys, today I have a really exciting video. The kind people over at Saker sent us this mini electric chainsaw, which we're super excited about. I have already tested it quite a few times because I wanted to try it out because I was really excited, to be honest. And secondly, I did kind of want to get a little experience with it so that I can share with you guys, just a general honest review. I told them like I'd love to do a review, but I'll be honest whether I like things or not. They are, apparently I learned since, they are the best selling chainsaw, mini chainsaw on Amazon. So when I saw that, I thought, well, I'd like to see why it is that. So I checked out the reviews. Everybody was really pleased with it. So they sent us this one out. The one they sent to us has one battery. The one that you buy on Amazon, this is what the mini chainsaw looks like. The one you buy on Amazon has two batteries. So this is the one they sent to me, which I'm super grateful for. So thank you so much, Saker, for sending that over. And this is the mini chainsaw. So you can see here it has a little guard. Obviously, this is not a chainsaw that you would cut a big tree down with. This is more for light pruning. But I do kind of want to put it through the test. I did go ahead and fully charge the battery. As you can see here, the light is green. Therefore, it means that this battery right here, this is how the battery charges, it is fully charged. So we can go ahead and get going. And then essentially you just slide the battery in. It does have the LED indicator in the back to show you it's fully charged. And then it's pretty nice. So let's go ahead and try this out with, I'm going to start with smaller branches and work my way up just to kind of test to see how big it can go. Obviously it's only 4 inches right here. I'm still going to test it and see, and then we'll see how long the battery lasts. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so I was actually chatting with my wife about the mini chainsaw. I was showing her, it's electric and all the good stuff. She actually really loved it. So I think for my wife, for somebody that doesn't feel super comfortable with, gas-powered chainsaws or anything like that, this is super user-friendly. The nice thing is when you stop this, especially when it's up against a branch, it stops right away. So there's nothing, like a kickback with the typical chainsaw that you have or anything like that. So this one is super nice for that. So I'm just going to start with just itty bitty branches here. And then this is a tree that is dead. It is on the front of our property where our fence is. And sadly, it's completely dead. These branches, now that our arborvitae trees that we planted a giant hedge of all the way down, now that they're getting a little bigger, they are encroaching on these dead trees, which I knew. So I'm going to go ahead and start pruning these back. And then also I'm just going to test this at the same time. So we got a pretty small branch right here. So let's just see how it cuts that. Absolutely no problem. It's like butter. Right here, we got this branch down here I'm going to cut. It's really light. If it was heavier, I would actually undercut it first, just so it helps. That is if you're worried about the tree. I'm not worried about this tree. We're going to cut it down at some point. Easy, easy. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and do this entire branch right here. If you felt this, it's like dead on the inside. Super light. Let's go ahead and chop this guy down. Let me show you the diameter of that so you can kind of see. That's about a 2.5, maybe 3 inch diameter or so. Now I wouldn't think it's, 2.5, maybe 3 inch diameter. No problem. I'm liking this thing. I am noticing when you cut, you do have to cut on this side of the chainsaw, meaning, notice I'm cutting this way. I'm not cutting the other way because the motor is here. So obviously I can't get super close. So if you're left-handed, I can see this, you just have to work accordingly. You can still use it. If you're left-handed, it just might be a little trickier, but I'm not left-handed, so I can't speak for the lefties. So I do just have to get on the right side of the tree or of the branch that I'm trying to cut. But overall, that did really, really well. Let's go ahead. I have this branch above me. I'm going to cut it a little short, and then I'm going to go to this branch down here that's a lot thicker. I want to say that's about 4, maybe 5 inches thick. And the sun is getting in my face. All right, so I'm going to cut this branch down, and then we're going to move our way down, because down here, the branch is about 4, maybe 5 inches thick. So I can get to test this little guy and see how he's working. That is so easy. One dead branch right there. I'm having too much fun. Okay, so right here, let's say that's about 3 inches or so. Nice. Okay, let's go ahead and cut this entire branch just to see how it does. Took a little bit. I heard just a little bit, or I felt just a little bit of struggle toward the end. But if you take your time and you got branches this thick, I feel like we can challenge it even more and go further. Got some firewood. I'm going to break this down into smaller pieces and burn it down. All right, see on this side, if I cut this branch, you can see the motor is on that side right there. So I can get somewhat close, but if I wanted to get closer to the branch, I have to come on the other side. Now, I did forget to mention safety. I'm used to working with power tools and other things. Some people may not be. I'm not too concerned about this flinging anything against my eyes, but if you don't feel comfortable, make sure you wear eye protection. If that's the case, this is flinging everything down in regards to shavings and whatnot, so I'm not concerned too terribly. Let's find a branch that's a little thicker so that we can test that. Okay, I am by my firewood pile, which right now is kind of dwindling. We've had a decent amount of fires lately. But right here you can see lengthwise it's almost as long right there. This is probably, it's close to 4 inches, but I kind of want to give this thing a run for its money just to see how it'll cut. So let's test this guy right here. Ha! Look at that. That's really fun because we have some cedars around our property that are smaller than I want to cut down. And a lot of the times my wife, Holly, is always asking me, can you cut me some little rounds? But when I cut it with the Sawzall and other things, it leaves it really rough and it's kind of hard to cut this shape. It did struggle a little bit because this wood here is in the shade and I think it recently rained. So it is a little wet. I could feel it kind of struggle a little bit. One thing I did forget to mention about this, when you buy it, it did come with a little bit of oil. So this is the oil it came with. And then all I do is just I squeeze it right on top of the chain, just like that. Remember, I took the battery off, and then I'm just going to hand pull this so that that oil gets on everything. You can see that. I'm going to do it once more. And that is how you oil the chain. There we go. So it's not technically oil-less, but I just put it right on the chain. No problem. I've used it 2 or 3 times already. But this here cuts, I don't know, I'm going to push it a little more. Let's see if I can find something just a little larger to step it up. Okay, so this is probably way overboard. I probably wouldn't cut something, I don't know, this is not quite 6 inches, but I'm just going to try it for the sake of science. Aha! My scientific experiment. So it worked. You can definitely hear it struggled. It kind of clogged up a little bit. I'm just pushing it just a little bit to the max and then some. I probably wouldn't cut anything this big with this. But the other size, 4 inches just about, did just fine with that. So I did have my first impressions of this a few days ago and a couple of times that I've used it since for light pruning. And up to maybe 4 inches is pushing it a little bit. But let's see how much battery it has. So I cut all that so far that I just showed you on video, and it's still full battery. Oh, right here, which is great. So I'll see if I can find other things to chop up and show you, but so far I'm really liking it. So the main reason I am loving this is, one, for myself, but also my wife. She's always working in the garden and doing stuff. She feels really comfortable with something like this, and I think that's excellent. So it's a tool that you can literally pick up and just go, as long as you make sure you have your batteries charged. But they do charge, I can't remember if it was within 1 or 2 hours. It is on the Amazon link. I'll leave the link below in the description so you can check it out and you can see. And then you can check it out at Saker.com, because I was just learning more about it to see how long it would take to charge up the battery. Again, the oil, I just put it right on the chain and took the battery off, and then you pull it, you oil the chain itself. But honestly, oh, and it did come with a little wrench here that you can tighten right here, and another Allen wrench. One is to remove the guard if you need to, and then the other one is to help with tightening of the chainsaw itself. You do want it to be, I'm going to take the battery off here. It does have a safety right here, so I'm not concerned that I'm going to get it going, but just in case, you do want it to have just a little give. You don't want it super tight, but if it's really loose when you get it, just make sure to tighten this up. And it does come with the tools to do that. It has this little bit right here for protection. But yes, 20 volt. I did forget to mention it is 20 volts. Overall, I really like it. I think the price point is really good. I looked it up on Amazon, and often if you wait for even Black Friday, there's a little coupons you see on Amazon that have great deals. So I think price point, honestly, it's rather inexpensive for what it is, and I think it's really useful if you have some land, if you have some trees you want to prune, so on and so forth. Especially like us, we have a really long fence line. We have, I don't know, maybe 400 or 500 feet, and there's older trees that are there that are deciduous, that half of them are dead. So I have a lot of pruning to do with that, and this actually makes that job fun, really. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that was helpful if you're looking at buying something like this, or if you're wondering if it was worth the money. I definitely think it is. I haven't tested it over time, of course. Like, I haven't had it for 2, 3, 5 months later, but definitely in future videos you'll see us use it, because we're always doing something around here. I have to do stuff at the nursery too, so I have to clean up some stuff over there. Definitely will be using this for that. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye. This is my old pile of things that I have pruned from those trees that I showed you. They're really dry now. So all I'm doing, I am cutting these into smaller sticks, and then I'm going to use this for my fire. So I'm going to make a stack of, just like-sized things in my wood pile, and then just get these going, because my fire pit isn't this huge. I could just take all this and burn it up, but I like to start my fires with smaller sticks. And this is so nice and handy to have. Cuts like butter. Oh, these are the small cedar branches I was telling you about. Look at that. Beautiful. Smells amazing. What should we do with this? Kind of don't want to burn it. Oh, it smells good. Smells really good. Holly said it smells good. She's helping me here film. Ah, that's so good. So yes, this whole pile right here that I got going on, I can chop it up into smaller pieces. I've been using the Sawzall, but sometimes the Sawzall kind of shakes the branch and doesn't like grip onto it nicely, like the chain of a chainsaw does. So I kind of left these here because I didn't want to deal with them. So now I can go ahead and chop these up into smaller bits and start really nice fires, because when you have smaller pieces into larger pieces when you're making a fire, it just makes the building of a fire a lot easier than having to feed it constantly.